to leaderboards, that would be fan flipping tastic. And here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, whoa, hey. How do you only have one tab open? I usually have like 50, Katie. Did you just clear out your computer just to have the one? Because
Yeah, I pull out the slideshow just for its own little tab.
so in the background you have your 50 tabs?
I do.
I knew we were similar that way. That's so good. All right. So let's talk about this. This is from the last week. I think it's the last week of February, right? Um, week ending. Um, let's see here. The Felix team had six applications for 7781 in APV. The Durgan Ellison team had 11 applications for 26,265 in APV. So there we go, Bridget. We're kicking your butt. No competition though. We're being nice here. No competition whatsoever. And by the way, can't wait for that hug because usually when Bridget hugs me, she slugs me. It's usually a double. It's a hit. It's a hug and a slug. So it's all good. Look at this. Gina, one application for 120 in APV. Awesome. Lance with one application for 438 in APV. Mama Margot with one application for 1102 APV. And let's see here. Janny with one app for 1173. Brandon Helmick with two apps for 2638. Rafa Rodriguez with three apps for 3848. I'll tell you what, if you look at Bridget, would you agree? If you look at Brandon and Rafa, if you look at their ratios all the time, three apps, 3,800, two apps, 2,600, it's almost like clockwork. It is identical. It is always consistent. That is what it takes. Um, e- every once in a while, you get lucky like I do. Here we go. Three applications for 10,911 APV. Had a nice big one in there. And Paige, look at this. Seven applications for 13,812 in APV. It's awesome. Leading from the front is my upline. I love it. It's awesome. For the month, we've got the Felix team with seven unique riders with 17 applications, 31,000 in APV. And our team has 11 riders, two new riders, 55 applications for 101,000 in APV. Awesome stuff. Next slide. And Bridget, you got this next slide? You good?
Yes, yes, I do. But yeah, great month, everybody. And so this slide, guys, if you're new or newer or thinking about building, your name needs to be on this before anything else, right? So this is last week, how many conversations we had about the opportunity. I had two, Margaret had three. And guys, the more people you talk to, no matter, what they're doing now, what they did in the past, what they want to be doing full-time, part-time, this is just, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you know anybody looking? Because you truly never know who's looking for some freedom, who, maybe their spouse is getting relocated and they're panicking, like, now I have to go get a job somewhere in an area I don't know. So this is where it starts. This is where it becomes not all on you and not all about you. And it's a great way to help other people too. Dave shared the opportunity with me. He had to do it a few times before I really, got my head around what the opportunity was. But if you want to be able to have that passive income, have some flexibility, and take other people with you, your name needs to be on this slide first and foremost. And if you don't know how to start, text your upline. We have a very straightforward, effective platform for you to be able to do that.
There we go. And new writers for February, we have Kiara direct to page and Bruce direct to page. Those are our two new writers for the month of February. Thank you, awesome new writers. This is awesome. This is how you start rolling, is getting that done and accomplished. So check that box for sure. All right. Next slide there, Katie. What do we got? There we go. Bridget, you got this one?
Yeah, if you know, you know, right? This is where all
Yeah,
the
if you
calls
know.
are. We have Zoom calls every day, team calls, training calls, national call. Everything, so if you're here, you know what to do, right? Some of the calls are in that main Zoom ID, but you go there, you look down at the bottom, hey, where do I see breakout rooms that are posted on Teams? If you can see a call, you can be on that call. Some of our calls, like for example, the national call, guys, I'm sure you got an email. They want us to get registered for that. So if you're having trouble hopping on or you're hitting an error message, go back into your emails and note that you need to register prior to the one that's on this Wednesday, March 4th. Okay? So that's where everything is. If you hop on and you don't hear anything, you don't see anybody from the team, don't just hop off and go, wow, I don't know what that was. Please text one of us. Chances are you just need to go to the breakout
Is that it?
room. That's
I
it.
I missed the Thursday one with the puppy, but I do have one more slide to show, and it's really, really, really cool. Bridget, let me ask you this. What's one thing, what's one thing of the four major things that you need to prepare for conference?
What's one thing that,
Just
so
what
you're
are four
asking
things
me,
that you need to prepare for conference every single time you go?
well, you need to understand, what hierarchy, and people will ask you that. Hey, who you direct to? I don't know. But you need to prepare what you want out of it first. What do I want to get out of this? And who have I seen on the calls that is getting the results that they seem to be elusive to me.
Yeah.
Because what you'll find, guys, is everybody here in this company, I don't care if they're at the top or just starting, they are approachable. And the reason that is the way it is that you can talk to anybody at any level is the culture of symmetry, period. So one of the biggest things in getting prepared for conference is you got to get there, right? That's one. So if you don't get there, nothing's going to happen. But how to know in your head if I'm brand new, how do I get to where I want to be? What's my next step? Your mentor can help you do that as well. So I don't know if that answered your question, Tommy, but I think
You're
that's,
you're on
number
the
one, you got to get there.
I hear
And
you. That's
two,
awesome. And you have the logistics, right? You have your schedule, you
yep,
have your breakouts figured out.
yep.
And there's always something we talk about. And I never understood this, Bridget. I didn't understand this. Um, you want to come into conference with what? A cash flow glow, right? And what does that mean? Right? What does that mean? That means that there's deposits hitting your bank account while you're in conference, and that will help you coming out of conference because there's 3 or 4 days there where you really truly, and it's not an excuse, it's just it's a fact. It's a little more difficult to produce when you're at conference. There's no doubt about it. But check this out. Let me know if you can you see that, Bridget? Is that cool? You good with this screen? Okay. So, and Bridget and Dave, I owe you guys a phone call later, but we are having and really truly, it's called the 6-7 virtual powerhouse. It really truly is. And if you know Miranda, that's where it came from. But um, this Friday and Saturday, on the 6th and 7th of the month, we are having a massive dialing session powerhouse blitz to ignite. We are going to be dialing from 9 to 9 each day in a different Zoom room. You can see some of the leaders here. We've got Sarah Pappas, Miranda Martin, Michelle and Carl, Grant Lieber, Travis Stevens, Josh Hershey. I got to move the thing down. I think that, and there's more in there as well. But it's going to be. I, Bridget, can I describe your trip this last couple days as forced family fun?
Can you describe my trip as forced family fun? And no, I would say not forced, but family fun, yes.
But there's always forced family fun at some point. But this is family fun. This is a chance for all of us to go in with the same mindset, to get around the same people that are putting in the activity, that are putting in booking appointments Friday, Saturday for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to help get that cash flow glow. I think we've always said, go get it, go find your cash flow glow. And we've never really put this together to where we can provide a space and a place to learn, a space and a place to grow, and a space and a place to really truly just put the activity in. So it's really cool. None of this is, I don't think the Zoom rooms are final yet or where it's going or what it's doing, but here it is. Block it out on your calendar, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 9, both days. You're going to have inspirational talks. You're going to have people dialing. You're going to have top producers, elite producers dialing the whole time and really just generating some cash flow glow. So um, hopefully you guys get on there. It's there, it's available, and it's pop in, pop out when you can, but it is a definite activity room. Any I know you just saw this, Bridget, but thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, this is where, again, even if you're brand new, even if you're just in the pre-licensing, I don't say just, it's just where you are, or beginning to dial, understand the ability to listen to how people are doing things and how they're getting it done. It can accelerate your learning curve. You can see, I know for me, we weren't virtual when I started. But at conference, when I would, go into a breakout session and they would role play a script, and I would hear just really how simple it was, I was overcomplicating the heck out of it. So to have this, dial session keeps you accountable, number one, keeps you in the right mindset. You'll hear people get all the same things we all get, right? Because a lot of times, one of the challenges with being virtual is if you're not on these Zoom rooms and these dial rooms, you can feel like you're out on an island and feel like you're the only one that's getting told that, go pound sand and people hanging up on you. We all get it, right? So just having the ability, I love this town to see some of the experts getting it done, just, hearing a different vibe is invaluable. So I highly encourage everybody on this call right now, like you said, be on for, if you can't be on the whole time, maybe just a little bit, jot down some notes, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll hear something that Grant says or Miranda, and why did they say that? Why was that coming? That'll kind of shorten that learning curve. So everybody should be on that, period, to get
Right.
your learning accelerated.
And Dave, I ask you this, you're big on what can we help with today, right?
Right.
That should be part of your mantra on your Zoom ID. What can we do today? But think about this. What kind of benefit of hearing objections or hearing appointments do you think can come out of this?
I think what Bridge said is like it's a couple things. You hear that even the top people, get told no, right? And but what I like about them is, especially for new people, it's your ability to get good at handling. I already got a policy, and I'm not interested, right? That's 95% of what we get. If we don't get an appointment, you know, how are they absorbing that? What's their tone? What's their vibe? As Bridge said, it's about a vibe, you know, and how are they delivering the rebuttal? And then how are they taking back control of the call, right? Because if you just deliver the rebuttal and sit there and wait, like, okay, you're next, you don't know what you're going to get. So, I always think about a time we're the ones driving the train to the station, right? And we have to use our rebuttal and then go right back into the script wherever we were with it. And what'll happen, guys, is when we go back into the script, if they are open-minded and are cool with what we said, they'll go right along with us and book an appointment. If not, they'll start fighting again, and then we know it's probably not our person, right? So for those people that are new and they're dialing, you got to learn your rebuttals. You got to learn what to say and how to say it, and then go back to what you were doing. And then if they keep fighting with you, just let them go. They're not our peeps. As Bridge and I always say, they're not our peeps. And that's okay. But you don't you think, Tommy, you can convert a lot of people into an appointment, especially on that policy review script.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And the other thing you're going to see and feel and hear is you're going to hear a top producer. I'm not saying lose their mind, but they're going to get frustrated too because it is part of life and being human. They're going to be like, that guy's an idiot or whatever, right?
Hmm.
It's part of it, right? You're going to hear the good, you're going to hear the bad, and hopefully there's not too many uglies, right? Is that
Yeah.
fair?
Yeah, that
So
is fair.
so yeah, that'll be they'll be pay attention in Teams chat for locations and official flyers. Miranda put that together in about 2 seconds, so it was just kind of fun. Um, anyway, but think about this too, right? Because I want to ask you guys something here. How many of you in the last week, last month, maybe last day here have felt this whisper, the whisper of maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm behind. That guilty here, right? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And it's hard because you don't want to lie. That voice shows up, right? Top producers get frustrated. Elite producers get frustrated. It happens. That voice shows up. But here's the truth. Every single person on this call right now is standing between two doors. Bridget, I'm not going to do 6, 7. I'm going to use doors. Okay. We've got two doors. One door says quit. The other door says grit. Okay. And here's what nobody tells you. The difference between the agent that's on the leaderboards making 15,000 a month and the one who disappears is not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not sales acumen. It's not any of that. It's not personality. It's what they do in these 12 inches between the two doors. Meaning, excellence isn't built on hype. It's built on two things: self-discipline, fierce self-discipline, and fierce self-kindness. So what is, and if you don't learn how to hold on to both, you're gonna burn out or bow out, right? A lot of new agents think success looks like this. I need to try harder, right? So they go crazy. They go intense. $500 in a day, no sleep, all gas, no margin, right? And then they miss the goal, right? They don't say, they don't self-correct. And Bridget, thank you for course correcting me over and over again, where we don't say on a day like that I need an adjustment. We say, hey, I'm just not good at this. That's not discipline. That's ego attacking itself. Because excellence isn't intensity, it's consistency.
Hmm.
Discipline says, I make the calls even when I don't feel like it. But discipline without self-kindness becomes self-destruction. And kindness, think about this one. How many times have you heard this in anything you do? And kindness without discipline becomes excuses. You're easy on yourself. I just didn't get to it, right? And if you're striving for excellence, it requires both. It requires a fierce attention to that self-kindness and that self-discipline, right? And here's what the fierce discipline as a new agent and a long time, myself included, agent, you dial when you don't feel like you're dialing, when you want to. You book appointments even after rejection. Dave already mentioned that. Get back on track. You track your numbers honestly, right? You stay coachable, stay humble, ask the questions. You show up when it's inconvenient, right? You know, Bridget and Dave, you've been here long enough, and I know I'll speak for myself. Maybe you've said this. I've got to get on a call. I've got to get on this call. I've got to go do this. I've got to do this, right? When your mindset changed to where you get to, I get to be on this call, I get to go recruit. I get to go do this. I get to go dial. When that mindset changes to what we get to do, life gets good because your future self deserves that effort. And if you think about the long line of things, we've talked about this before. Discipline builds skill, skill builds confidence, confidence builds production, production builds freedom, right? And the missing piece here is, you know, what keeps you from quitting, right? Because you're going to, I gotta laugh on this one. I've done this a million times. You're going to bomb appointments. You're going to get zoomed or ghosted or porched or zorched or whatever you want to call it. You're going to. You're going to hear no 20 times in a row. I remember the week before my first conference in Knoxville, I was gunning for a trip and I was close and I was marginal close. I mean, Bridget and Paige and Dave were already way past qualifying and I was in the margin, right? And that week, I put so much pressure on myself. I went 0 for 16 on my appointments with one appointment left. And I reached out. I had about an hour and a half before the appointment. I reached out. I was sitting up against my bed trying to figure out what the heck, what is going on. And I knew it was me. I knew it was my posture. I knew it was my expectation of myself and putting the extra pressure on myself. So I reached out and I said, what can I do? And the best advice given was don't give a flying flip about your next appointment. Just go in and help them. And it turns out, still, well, to this day, it's my second biggest policy I've ever written, but the client's still on the books. And it would have never happened had I not had the 0 for 16. Had I not struggled over here trying to figure out if I can do this, even though I'm committed to going to conference, I'm committed to doing this. Paige is showing up at my door the next day to drive down there. That was my last shot, but it was the one more shot. Instead of quitting, I took the one more. And I rephrased, I guess, my mind to say, hey, I'm learning. I'm in the process. This is not my last appointment. And when you think about this, without your self-kindness, every bad week feels like an identity failure. With kindness, self-kindness, every bad week becomes data, right? What were you doing there? Most agents don't quit here. I've seen this because they can't do the work. They quit because they can't handle how the work makes them feel. Because you can regulate your emotions. You can't regulate, and you can regulate your results too, right? But the space between the quit and grit is this. Quit says, I'm out. I'm done. Grit says, this is uncomfortable. Good. I can learn from this. And grit doesn't scream, it whispers. It just says, just do today. Just make the next call. Just reach out to your upline. Just figure out the next step. Just book the next appointment. Go one more. You can book one more. You can keep going. And, excellence is repetitive. It's not heroic. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And when you have the self-kindness to shift your mindset into, hey, I can learn, I can grow from this, you're going to do the same activities and expect different results. Otherwise, you're going to do the same thing and get the same results. Because think about this, right? I think most of us here came in here for more income, more time, more freedom, more belief in yourself. Have I missed anything there? But think about this. When it gets hard, you're not failing, you're just forging. You're forging forward. When you're not behind, you're just becoming. You're becoming a better version of yourself, right? The only thing standing between you and the life you want is whether you can stay in that tension long enough. Because when your head down, that's the discipline. When your heart's open, that's the kindness, right? When your day feels tough, head down, keep working. When rejection stings, open your heart, relax, right? It's not personal. When you miss your goal, adjust, don't attack yourself. The agent who wins here is not the loudest, not the smoothest, nor the most confident. It's the one who refuses to quit on themselves. Not on me, not on the team, on themselves. So between the quit and the grit, choose your grit. And when you wobble, choose yourself again tomorrow. And the other part of this is don't point the fingers, point the thumbs. Okay? Because that's how flames become firestorms. I'll leave you with that. I think I hit it on the time and everything else. So choose between grit and quit. Flip open the door of grit and stick it out long enough until you figure yourself out with the self-kindness. All right. I'll leave you with that. Everybody, have a blessed day. Pay attention to teams. We're going to have that big dial call on Friday and Saturday. It's going to pump you up for next week. It will put that cash flow glow into your pocket. Promise, if you do the work, it will show up. That's all I got. Everybody, have a good one.